Good morning. It is Takeaway Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so glad that you're here. My name is Tina Kavirgich, but don't worry, if you can't remember that name, you can always just call me Northern Stamper. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining me. And we are going forward with learning more about the Gathering Moments stamp set. I just love this. I hope you've been enjoying what you've been watching with me for the month of September. Excuse me, the Gathering Moments. I just think this is such a fantastic suite, from the DSP to the dies to the stamp set. I've been having a great time with this. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you have any questions or comments, you can comment below. My friend Liz, she will be watching the comment. Thank you, Liz. I really appreciate it. And if I can't grab any of those comments, she will grab them if you have any questions. Again, my name is Tina Kavirgich, and I am Northern Stamper. You can always reach me at northernstamper@gmail.com. I am very excited for you to be here. Um, what's coming up, I just want to talk a little bit about what's coming up. If you are living near the Ajax area, or Durham region, maybe you want to come by on Saturday. I have 3 spots left for World Card Making Day. We are going to be making this kit. We're going to be making the cards as is, but you know I always love card alternatives, and I've got 5 amazing card alternatives using this kit. It was a lot of fun, and all the price of it, I'm just asking for the price of the kit, which is $44. Now, this is a great kit. It was a lot of fun making, and you get this cute little box to hold all of your cards, and I think that's a great idea because I don't know about you, I got cards in shoe boxes, but this is definitely looks much better than a shoe box. If you would like to join me, please let me know, northernstamper@gmail.com, and I will add you in. Like I said, I got 3 spots left, so hopefully you can join us. The ladies are absolutely wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. Now, you may have seen that there is a join bonus that is for the starter kit. And when we talk about the starter kit, things that you want to get going for crafting, there is a new bonus. Now, I've never seen it this high in the dollar amount, coming for October. Now, there are 2 options you can choose. Now, there is one for you can choose $165 worth of product. Don't go over the listed amount, but get as close as you can. And you only pay $48, and that includes tax, shipping, and my goodness, what a deal that is. Holy cow, $48 for the starter kit. You want to join with me, Tina Kavirgich? It's going to be a lot of fun. I've got a lot of fun activities coming up for our team members. Now, if you want to add something a little bit more, in particular, the cut and emboss machine, I highly recommend the larger one. Uh, go for the larger one. It is a much better price wise. Utilization is much better using that. And you can use option number 2. And that is $252 worth of product. Okay, I've never seen it that high. That is absolutely amazing. So $252 worth of product, which means you can include the cut and boss machine plus a whole bunch of other stuff for $135. Now, one thing about my team, I'm going to tell you, I will work as best as I can to make sure that you get the most for your money, because I think we are always got to look out for our pennies and stuff like that. And I will never pressure you to purchase more than you want. I'll never pressure you to hold a class or start a business or to do YouTube. If you want to just craft along with me, you are more than welcome to do that. And if you want to continue as a demonstrator, that is okay. I will definitely help you figure out how to maximize each quarter that you need to meet. But if you don't, that's okay too. Let's take a look at the items that we can get for you so that you can craft along. And I got a lot of very amazing things coming up, and you don't want to miss that. So today we are going to be using the Gathering Moments stamp set. Now give me a thumbs up if you are ready to get started with this last fall card. I'm very sad that this is the last fall card, and from today forward we will be making Christmas cards. But that's okay. You know what? Time for every season. All right. So let's get started. We are going to be definitely using the stamp set, and we're going to be using a lot of these images here. I have my dies ready, so I'm going to be using some of the dies to cut these out with, and I've already kind of pulled them out. And we are going to be using really the leaves. Now you can add in the acorn if you like. It is totally up to you. But I thought for today we are going to do something a little bit different and a little bit fun. Oh, give me a thumbs up if you're excited for that. We are going to take our stamps that we have here, and instead of just stamping with a regular ink pad, ho ho, coming, look what we're going to do. We are doing, yes, can you guess what that is? Can you guess what we're going to be doing with our stamps? Comment below if you know what we're doing. Okay. Oh, Susie, your office is closed today. How exciting. Okay, we are going to be doing heat embossing, and we are going to be using copper. Now, the reason I wanted to do copper is because it matches so beautifully with the DSP. Now, depending on how much items or DSP you used, hopefully you have some of this left. So we are going to be using the copper. It goes really nicely with this. Now, if you want, you could use copper, or if you prefer, you can use the gold. That is in there. There is gold in there that you could use that too. So there's copper. But you know what? I also picked up some of the gold, so I'm going to do both, and you are going to help me decide which one to place on the card. So I use copper to match in with the DSP, or we're going to use the gold that uses the highlights. So take a look for the DSP, and we're going to look for something like this. Now you may have something similar to this. Maybe it's the other one that is like that. But you want something with a nice bold type of DSP that you have there. Okay. We have our Versamark, which is the sticky stuff that our heat embossing powder is going on. Now I got two here. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just overly excited. We have our basic little tools in here for heat embossing. Very exciting. Okay. So we have that. Now let's take a look. Our last package, you will notice, has a crushed curry card base. Oops, there we go, crushed curry card base. All right, and if I fold this over, there is a early espresso piece of cardstock on there. Okay, so that's going to fit on there, and there's a nice edge all the way around. I'm going to try and make sure I keep it in the frame. Sorry about that. And there is a piece of Cajun craze, and this is what we're going to stamp our leaves on. So hopefully you have that. Now, if you don't like the Cajun craze, this is totally up to you. If you don't like the Cajun craze to stamp on, choose something a little bit more subtle, like the basic beige. Go in your stash and look for a basic beige. And if you don't like that color, you can always grab basic white. So there you go. That matches in the basic white. There is the basic beige. You know, it is totally up to you on which one you're going to use. You might want to pull that in from your stash. So that's the cardstock we are going to use. I've already showed you the DSP, so you want to have that one is the one with the leaves. I'm watching all of the comments at the same time. So we've got the ones with the leaves on here. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of this DSP. Let's take it out. And you're going to leave it 6 inches long. Okay, you want to leave it nice and long, but you're going to cut it to 2 inches. So 2 inches by 6. Okay, so we want a long piece of DSP for that. Okay. Now, what you will need to do is bring in a couple of other pieces of DSP. In particular, Okay, so there's this one. It's kind of got like a gold hash mark. I thought this makes a really good backing. And what you're going to do is you're going to cut that piece to 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, the reason is, let's take a look. If we do that, it's going to match onto the early espresso and onto the card base. But we're not going to glue this down yet because we need to do some work on this. So we're going to be putting that there. There we go. Now on the back is an early espresso. Don't discard this. So keep it as long as you can, like 6 inches. Now the reason I'm saying that is you will be using this either for an edge, there we go, like that, or if you have any of the one with, the green one with the stripes and on the back is early espresso, you would cut that to 2.5. Now, if you do not have this one with the green on the back, okay, you do not have it. If you don't have enough, then go with the little piece and we'll cut it in half and use that as border. Totally okay. So 2.5, and you'll see that this is 2 inches. So you can see these two sit on top and there's an edge on the top and the bottom. Now, if you don't have this piece here with the green on the back, so you don't have any more of that DSP, you can take this, cut it in half, and kind of make an edge like that. I just wanted to show you in case you're running out of DSP. Okay, so just comment below if you have any questions. Have I confused you? So I'm going to put these dimensions back here so that you can see the dimensions of the DSP. And don't forget we are adding in our ribbon, so make sure you got your ribbon set aside. And we're going to be using the dots that match the suite, and we're going to be using that. Okay. All right, so are we all ready to get started on our card? Okay, what we're going to do first is we're going to take this piece that is 3 3/4 by 5. Okay, and what I'm going to do, let's get that off. I'm going to take that off. And what I want to do is I'm going to take this piece, whoops, let's cover that up so you can see. And I'm going to take my piece of early espresso and I'm going to lay it across. Now that's why I wanted it as long as possible. Okay, so it doesn't quite go corner to corner, so I'm going to turn it so that I can get as much on there. Okay, so that will sit on top. I will put these, I'll just lay these down so you can see, and then I'm going to glue them. Then I'm going to take my 2 inches and lay it on top. Okay, see how it goes? It goes over the edge of that piece of DSP. So let's glue this piece together. Would help if I had some glue. All right. Okay. Gonna glue that down and put it like that. Now, if you don't have, like I said, that long piece, where did it go? That other one, that little short one. Okay. Again, cut it in half and tape it to the back of that DSP. Okay. And we're going to have that. So we've got that glued down now. And I'm just going to add, now I'm not going to go straight from one edge to the other because otherwise I'm going to take this hole down to my desk. I'm just going to put the glue right in the middle, just in the middle there. And again, I'm going to angle it as best as I can. And let's see, like that. There we go. Make sure it covers each corner. And I'm going to take that down. So you could see it is overhanging, right? So it's overhanging. Let's cut those pieces off. Now just, you can use your trimmer, or if you carefully use your snips or your scissors and follow that along. Okay, just going to carefully follow that. Okay, and again, snip it off and follow it. There we go. Oh, look at that. Now that looks awesome. See, it's all the way across now. That's why I didn't want you to glue it to the cardstock yet. Now that we have it now cut down, we can add it to that piece of cardstock. Okay, that piece of Early Espresso. I'm going to place that on top. Oh, look how this is coming together. And let's put that on. Let's put that on our card base. Okay. Gail's asking, do my corners catch on the envelope? Oh, you mean like when I put it in? You know what? Sometimes they do, but sometimes they do. I try and be very careful when I put it in the envelope. When I'm using liquid glue, I try not to go too close to the edge, because if you've ever watched my videos, they splush at the side and that's the end of it. And then, okay, so we've placed this on to the card base. Now, that looks great just by itself. Now, we can just put on a sentiment and that's it. But you know what? Let's add a little bit more to that. I'm going to place this aside, and we are going to be stamping with our Versamark to heat emboss. So I'm going to do one in each color just so that you can see the difference. Let's just do this, okay? I think you know who I am, so there we go. Okay, we're going to stamp in Versamark on each one. Okay, and then we're going to add either gold or copper to some of these. All right, let's get our Versamark. Okay. Oh, that one looks really well used. Let's see the other one. Oh, that one looks better. Maybe I should use that one. Okay. And that is why I always try and write the year on my stamp pads, because I can never remember which one's the older one. Okay, I'm going to glue that up and make sure I can see it. I think that's good. So I'm going to stamp with the Versamark on the first one, on the white. I'm going to stamp on the basic beige. I don't know which one I'm going to use. Okay. I'm going to stamp on the Cajun Craze. I hope that works. Yeah, I think I see it. And let us do another image. I wanted to get like 3. Try and get as many leaves as I can on there. Okay, so I've stamped some leaves on there. You can do as many as you like. Now, before I go any further, I know this is going to stay sticky for a bit. I'm going to clean my stamps from the Versamark, so I'm going to be using my Stamp and Scrub for this. And I'm going to try and get that sticky Versamark off the stamps. There we go. That. I don't want to leave that Versamark on the stamps too long. And there we go. Put those off to the side. Okay. We have them all stamped. Now let's start with let's do gold with the white. Now I can't, you can barely see it on video, so, but I'm just gonna, I can see it's over there. Okay, let's put these off to the side. Hello. And I'm gonna be doing, let's do gold on this first one. I'm just gonna dump that on there. And make sure you shake it about. You know, it's like the hokey pokey. And going all the way around. And then you can just turn it over and flick. Now, if you double check, and if you missed any spots, you can always go back, kind of scoop it up, and kind of move the powder around. Let's take that off. Now, there's a bunch of powder on here. Because I'm going to be cutting these out, I'm not going to worry too much. But if you want, you can always take a little brush and brush off the edges around it if you want, like any spots, before you heat emboss. Okay. That is the gold on the white. Okay, let's do gold on the basic beige. Or should we do gold? Oh, you know what? I'm going to do gold on the Cajun Craze instead. Let's scoop that up. And then I will do the copper on the other color. Again, scooping it up. I want to make sure I get enough on each one. Tip it over, kind of tap it off. Heat embossing adds so much. Okay, let's see, we got that. All right. And I'm going to put this back into the case. I can use it for next time. One thing about heat embossing powder is it gets everywhere. So, all right. Now let's go with the copper. Oh, this one is a brand new one. It's so brand new. Apparently, I haven't even opened it yet. Okay. Gonna try and get this. Oh my goodness. We might be just going with the gold. Right. All right. There we go. You need like a little rip tie on here to get started. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Anybody got a good joke to tell us while I'm trying to do this? All right. Let's keep going. Let's go. Oh my goodness. It's Fort Knox. Oh, there we go. Holy moly. There we go. Well, that's a lot of embossing powder in there. Oh, that's going to keep me in business for like 20 years. Okay, let's pour some of that on. That's the copper. One trick I found out is when you use your embossing powder and you have the container, don't heat emboss the container. That's just a little tip. Don't heat emboss your item over the container. That's just a little tip there for you. Ooh, look at that. That's very cool. All right, let's get some of that off. Now I can see my fingerprints on some of this because the oils from my fingers have come on to the paper. Now let's take that off. Again, tap it down. For the angle piece, do you cut the corners of the plaid piece stick out? When I laid it across, whatever was overhanging, when I turned it over, that's what I cut off. I hope that makes sense. Maybe Liz can answer that a little bit more on there. Okay, so I have the 3 different pieces that we're going to heat emboss. All right, so this may be loud. If it is, I do apologize. I'm very sorry about that. So what I'm going to do is, let's get one. As you can see, the color is now changing. It needs to reach a certain temperature before the powder starts melting. So you can see it is starting to, the powder is becoming a matte, from a matte color to a shiny color. All right. So I tried to pick up this piece off camera and my finger just kind of smushed into the middle of that. So you know what I'm going to do? Where is that? I'm just going to add a little bit of, you know what? I'm just going to add a little bit of that copper in there. You know what? Why not? Let's see what happens. And there we go. We have got them all now heat embossed. Oh, you know what? I think that one, yep, there we go. It's all heat embossed. So it's all gone nice and shiny. And I've got powder everywhere. So now what we can do is we can take those pieces and we can die cut them out. And what I'm going to do is get my Post-it note. Now, where did those dies go? And I can die cut those out. All right, so I'm going to do these. I'm going to do two colors. So I'm going to do this one with the Cajun Craze, and then I'm going to do the one, I think, maybe I should I do the white or the basic beige? Which one do you want me to cut out also? We'll use those on the cards. So I'm going to put those on. I don't want them to move. So the little bit of tackiness that's on the Post-it note will hold it in place. Okay, let's get those on. There we go. So let's just die cut that. Oops. I can't quite bring in my machine. There you go. You can see some of it. And you're going to notice my plates are all kind of used up, but that's okay. You know what? They keep going. The only time you need to be really aware that when your plates are all scratched and stuff like that is when you are using foil. You want to use brand new plates when you're using foil. So um, the image of the scratches don't go onto the foil itself. Okay, so that's that one. Where's the other one? Let's go with I'm going to go with the basic beige and the copper. Okay, and we're going to add that to the card. Okay, I'm just doing this off camera. I'm sorry, but I think you know how to add the dies, and we're just going to get that last one on. One sec, we're almost there. I feel like I should have like interlude music here going. No. All right, let's get that. Oops, sorry, it's moving. It's moving. Okay, we're going to run these through again. Can I show my card base again? Okay, one sec. One sec. It's coming. There we go. There is the card base. Okay. Now we got our pieces cut out. So I got 3 here. Make about 6. Oh, that one I didn't cut too well now, did I? I must have shifted. So make about 6 leaves so that you can have at least some to choose from to work with. Okay. So I've just used the different colors. Okay, so there we go. We have this angle on here. So it kind of goes from corner. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Whatever you got and whatever's overhanging on the DSP when you're doing it. Let's see. Let's bring this in again. So this is, imagine that this is the card base. So you're going to just angle it like that. Okay, there we go. We're going to have it like this. And whatever is overhanging as you flip, you just kind of cut off just like that. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay. All right. So I have the different shape. Wow, you know what? This turned out better than I thought it would. Hoo, hoo, hoo. So you have the different leaves. If you've used all the same color card base, or if you use different card bases like I have, you're going to kind of cluster them in a corner. Now you can cluster them up here or over onto that side. I want to cluster it down here. Just kind of like this a little bit. Gives you an idea. And what I want to do, I'm not gluing these down yet. I just wanted to show you kind of roughly about where they're going to go. I want to have a sentiment kind of coming out from this cluster. And I'm going to be using a piece of DSP. And all I want to do is stamp it in early espresso. Okay, turn this. And then I'm just going to cut it like a banner. Now, what I found out is you want to have a nice kind of thick sentiment. Like I tried this one first, the Thankful for You, which is very nice, but it was too thin to see. So you want something like either Gather or something a little bit bigger and a little bit heavier. So let's stamp that. Oh, is it crooked? Stamp that. And I think it's straight. I'm just going to cut that out and make a little banner. All right. There we go. Now, if you have the little punch that makes the little tag ends, that's awesome. I would highly use that. I'm going to just make a little tag for it here. I'm going to take that up. There we go. I'm going to take that tag and I will tuck it in right about here. Oh, it's a little longer than I anticipated. It's a little longer than I thought. Maybe I'll turn my card. What if I turn my card? I can do that too. I'll cluster it something like that. Now, if your tag is a little bit smaller, you can make it portrait this way. But you know what? I think my tag is a little bit too large. Maybe I'll just put it on this way as a landscape card. Oh, sometimes you just gotta roll with what you got. And let's make a little cluster. Okay, maybe that one's a little bit too big. Kind of work on the pieces that you have. And they'll turn out. Want to kind of cover that a little bit. There we go. I think this is going to come together. And what I'm going to do is behind all this, I'm going to put some ribbon. Now, I don't want all these pieces straight on, like flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add height with dimensionals to each one. Okay, so I want this here. Okay, so I'm going to glue this straight down. I know I want that piece right there. So let's work with that. I'm going to place that right there. This was a portrait card. I'm going to show you the first card I made with this. All right. And we're going to add a leaf. And again, we're going to do different heights. So I can see the end of my banner there. I kind of want to cover that a little bit, kind of hide it. There we go, like that. And we're going to have that piece kind of cluster it. Maybe I'll put it like that. Oh, I'm going to have these two together. Okay. I'm going to have this one flat. Kind of over to the edge. I'm going to add some height. So I'm working on one area, so they kind of converge right about here. I'm going to add some height to that one. Now, as you work with these, yours may look a little different than what I'm doing. That is totally okay. So I'm going to cluster it. Kind of comes together right about there. There's some height on that. Kind of overlap it a little bit. I think I want a little bit more in here. Gonna do another one. I'm gonna add some height on that. Put a dimensionals on that. Don't be afraid to, if you do make a mistake, don't be afraid of that. Like with me, with my card, it was supposed to be portrait. You know what? It didn't work. So instead of getting too upset about it, I'm just kind of go with it. All right, put that down. Now I have one more, but I want to add some ribbon behind it. before I glue that last one down. Or look, I got a couple more. I got a couple left I can work with. Maybe I'll put that in there. And then this one on top. I want to give it like a clustering look. Maybe I'll just do this. Oh, there we go. I'm going to put it behind there. Okay, so let's add some ribbon. Add some of this ribbon. And I want it to kind of come out of one of the leaves. So I'm going to add some adhesive to one of the leaves. And I'm just going to touch in the adhesive and kind of loop it. Okay, there we go. We're just going to go back and forth with some of the ribbon or the twine, whatever you want to use. Doesn't want to work that well with me, but let's keep going. There we go. And you can add different colors of ribbon in there if you want. So I'm going to add that one in like that. And that will, oh, I think I need more glue. You know what? I'm going to put dimensionals on that one. Press that in there. Make sure it sticks. This is a great card. I love the leaves, the embossing on this. I thought was very cool, and it highlights the colors in there. All right, let's kind of tuck that in. And do we have another leaf? I can tuck that in under there. Oh, look, I don't want it to go, excuse me, further than the card. I'm going to add a little bit of twine to that one too, just to give it a little bit. And you know what? I'm going to use this piece of gold. I'm going to turn it over like a little V. I'm going to add that in. Oh, look at that. That's going to be awesome. Oh my goodness. I might try and tuck some more gold ribbon in at different spots. So I just made a little V. Let's tuck that in. There we go. Make sure it doesn't go longer than the card. Here we go. Oh, you know what? I think I'm going to add some more this gold one. I'm going to tuck it in. And because I'm doing it afterwards, I need a glue dot. So I'm going to get a glue dot, fold it over, add the glue dot, and tuck it in under one of these leaves. And hopefully it'll leave my finger. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. That looks so cool. I'm going to do a little bit more. That kind of just gives a little bit of a bling look to it, like just a little bit. That turned out really nice. This one leaf is kind of not sticking well enough. Glue dots are absolutely fantastic. They are a must-have in your stash. Ooh, that one's moving. Oh, come on. There. It holds a bunch of stuff down. Okay. Let's get another glue dot on this one. I'm actually going to tuck it in behind this one. Here we go. Oh my goodness. That is awesome. Holy cow. That turned out really nice. I'm so surprised. Oh my goodness, look at that. That looks stunning. And I'm just going to add some little dots here and there. Give a little hint of dimension. Let's put one. Should we put one over here? I don't think I like it on there. Don't think I like it on there. There. There we go. Oh my goodness, that turned out fantastic. I'm going to show you my original card. This turned out great. I'm very pleased with this, even though it was a mistake. It was supposed to go this way. But, oh, that turned out really good. So here is my original card. There's the portrait. So there again, clustered. But see, I found out that small little sentiment was too tiny for that. Kind of didn't really stand out. Oh, I really like that. Oh my goodness. Wow, those turned out really good. What do you think about that? Oh, I think that looks great. Oh, I had so much fun. Heat embossing, we got to do more of that. So let me know what you think. Did you enjoy today's card? If you have any questions, northernstamper@gmail.com. My name is Tina Karigich. Thank you for joining me. Oh my goodness. I think this is the best card all month. Oh my goodness. Let me know what you think. And don't forget to join me next month for Takeaway Tuesday, where we're going to be making some more cards. And drop me an email, northernstamper@gmail.com. Take a look at some of the upcoming gatherings and classes I have going on. I hope you had a great day and this has inspired you to make a card using heat embossing. Take care and be crafty.